My girlfriend insisted I meet her parents over dinner. She insulted me in Italian all night, thinking I didn't understand anything. He's too dumb to realize it, she laughed. After dinner, I thanked her parents in perfect Italian and recounted, one by one, all the lies she'd told them. I'd been dating Sophia for 7 months when she finally invited me to meet her parents. 7 months of dating, of dinners and movies and weekend trips, of her meeting my friends, my co-workers, my sister. But her parents had always been off limits. Too busy, not the right time. They're very traditional. They need to warm up to the idea. Then one Tuesday, she texted me, dinner at my parents' house Saturday, 6 p.m. Dress nice. No question mark. Not really an invitation. More of a summons. They don't speak much English, she warned me in the car on the way there. Saturday evening. Golden hour light. She was checking her makeup in the visor mirror, reapplying lipstick. Just smile and nod a lot when they talk. I'll translate everything for you. Make sure you understand. It'll be fine. Sounds good, I said, hands on the wheel, following her directions through a neighborhood I'd never been to. She squeezed my hand. They're going to love you. I've told them so much about you. They're excited to finally meet you. What did you tell them? Just, that you're sweet, that you treat me well, that you have a job. She laughed. They're very old-fashioned. They care about that stuff. Her parents' house was in an older neighborhood, well-maintained homes from the 70s, big yards, mature trees, her father's truck in the driveway, a newer Ford, clean, well cared for, garden beds along the front of the house, tomatoes on stakes, basil, oregano, peppers, all thriving. The house smelled like garlic and wine and fresh bread the moment we walked in, warm, inviting, homey in a way my sterile apartment never was. Her mother came to the door immediately, short woman, maybe 5'2", round, warm smile, gray hair pulled back, apron tied around her waist. She hugged me without hesitation before Sophia could even introduce us, said something in rapid Italian, kissed both my cheeks, held my face in her hands. Her father appeared behind her, tall, solid build, gray hair, weathered face, working man's hands, firm handshake, strong grip. He looked me up and down, sizing me up, assessing, then nodded once, short, curt. We sat down to dinner in their dining room. Small table, 4 chairs, white lace tablecloth that looked handmade, candles already lit, photos covering the walls, Sophia as a baby, as a child, school pictures, family gatherings, a faded wedding photo of her parents from what looked like the 70s. The food was already laid out when we sat down, homemade pasta. You could tell it was fresh, not from a box. Fresh bread still warm from the oven, red sauce simmering in a ceramic bowl, steam rising, meatballs the size of tennis balls, salad with oil and vinegar, a bottle of red wine already open and breathing on the table. Sophia poured wine for everyone. Her mother said something, gesturing toward me with her wine glass, smiling, warm. Sophia smiled at me, touched my arm, then turned to her mother and responded in Italian. Sì, mamma. Ha un buon lavoro. Guadagna abbastanza. Lavora con I computer. Non devi preoccuparti di niente. Yes, mom. He has a good job. He makes enough. Works with computers. You don't need to worry about anything. She looked back at me, translated with a smile. She asked if you have a good job. I told her yes. You're doing really well. She worries about stuff like that. I nodded politely at her mother. Thank you so much for having me. This all looks absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you going to all this trouble, Sophia translated. Her mother beamed, reached across the table and patted my hand, said something else in Italian that made Sophia laugh. She says any friend of mine is family. That's very kind, I said. Her father said something then, gruff voice, short sentence, looking directly at me, studying my face. Sophia laughed lightly, waved her hand. Responded, Gli ho detto che sei intelligente, papà, anche se a volte sei un po' lento a capire le cose. Ma è carino. I told him you're smart, Dad, even though sometimes you're a bit slow to understand things. But he's nice. She turned to me, still smiling. He said you seem like a nice guy, very polite, good manners. I smiled at him. I really appreciate that, sir. I have a lot of respect for Sophia, and for you both. She talks about you all the time. Sophia translated. Her father grunted, drank his wine, didn't smile. The conversation continued like that for the first 20 minutes, back and forth in Italian. Sophia translating selected pieces for me, keeping me included, making sure I felt part of the conversation, or so it seemed. I ate my pasta, complimented the food, asked questions about the house, the neighborhood, how long they'd lived here. Sophia translated everything. Her parents responded warmly. Then her mother asked another question, longer this time, more animated, gesturing with her hands, looking between Sophia and me. Sophia's tone shifted subtly when she answered, sharper, faster, less warm, more casual. Non è molto ambizioso, mamma. Probabilmente non andrà da nessuna parte nella vita. Non ha grandi sogni, ma è carino e mi compra cose quando glielo chiedo. quindi per ora va bene. He's not very ambitious, Mom. He's probably not going anywhere in life, doesn't have big dreams, but he's nice and buys me things when I ask, so for now it's fine. She turned back to me, smile in place. She asked if you're ambitious, if you have big career plans. I told her yes, absolutely. That you're very driven and have goals. I took a sip of wine. That's really kind of her to ask. I do have some things I'm working toward. Sophia nodded, didn't translate my response, just moved on. Her father leaned forward then, asked another question, direct, looking right at me, his eyes sharp. Sophia waved her hand dismissively, casual, almost bored. È troppo stupido per capire cosa stiamo dicendo, papà. Possiamo dire quello che vogliamo qui. Non sa nemmeno una parola di italiano. Gliel'ho chiesto una volta e ha detto che non ha mai studiato nessuna lingua. He's too stupid to understand what we're saying, Dad. We can say whatever we want here. He doesn't know a single word of Italian. I asked him once and he said he never studied any languages. She looked at me, still smiling, warm, loving even. He asked if you understand Italian. I told him no, not at all, that you only speak English, that you've never really traveled much or studied languages. I reached for more bread, tore off a piece. Yeah, I really wish I'd learned a second language in school. I took Spanish for like 2 years but barely remember any of it. Maybe someday I'll take classes or something. Sophia laughed, patted my arm. Maybe I'll teach you some Italian. It's a beautiful language. I'd like that. Her mother said something then. Longer statement. Both she and Sophia laughed. Genuine laughter. Her father even cracked a slight smile. First one I'd seen from him. Sì, mamma, è vero. A volte mi chiedo perché sto ancora con lui, ma è facile da controllare. Non fa domande, non si lamenta mai, fa quello che gli dico, ed è abbastanza carino da portare in giro. Yes, Mom, it's true. Sometimes I wonder why I'm still with him, but he's easy to control, doesn't ask questions, never complains, does what I tell him, and he's cute enough to bring around. Sophia smiled at me, warm, affectionate. She said you seem very respectful, well-mannered, that I picked a good one. I felt my chest tighten, just slightly, barely noticeable, but I kept my face neutral. Thank you, I said to her mother. That means a lot to hear. The meal continued. More wine poured, more laughter, more rapid Italian that I supposedly couldn't understand. Sophia's father asked about my family. Sophia told him in Italian that my parents were divorced, that my father wasn't in the picture much, that my mother worked retail and struggled with money. Viene da una famiglia povera, she said. He comes from a poor family. To me, she said. He asked about your family. I told him they're great, very close-knit. Her mother asked if we were serious, if marriage was a possibility. Sophia laughed, actually laughed. No, mamma, non è il tipo con cui mi sposo. È solo per ora, qualcosa di temporaneo finché non trovo qualcuno migliore, qualcuno con una vera carriera, ambizione, soldi. No, Mom, he's not the type I'd marry. He's just for now, something temporary, until I find someone better, someone with a real career, ambition, money. To me, she asked if we're serious. I told her we're taking things slow, one day at a time. I nodded, drank more wine, felt it burn going down. Her father asked what I did for work. Sophia told him I worked in IT, lavoro base, niente di speciale, ripara computer, non guadagna molto, basic work, nothing special, fixes computers, doesn't make much. To me, he's impressed, says IT is a good field. Her mother asked if I'd gone to college. This is where it got worse. Ha abbandonato gli studi, Sophia said, waving her hand dismissively. Non era abbastanza intelligente per finire. Ha provato per 2 anni e poi ha mollato. Ora fa solo lavori semplici. He dropped out, wasn't smart enough to finish. Tried for 2 years, then quit. Now just does simple work. She turned to me. I told them you graduated, that you worked really hard. I felt something cold settle in my chest, but I kept my face calm, neutral. Thank you, I said quietly. The conversation continued like that for another 30 minutes. Sophia slowly dismantling me in Italian while building me up in English, her parents' expressions changing gradually, from welcoming to pitying, from interested to condescending. She told them I'd borrowed money from her, multiple times. Più di $3,000, non me li ha mai restituiti. Ma cosa posso fare? More than $3,000, never paid me back. But what can I do? She told them I was boring in bed. Non sa cosa fare. È come essere con un ragazzo vergine. Doesn't know what to do. It's like being with a virgin. She told them I had no ambition, no future, no prospects. She told them I was too stupid to realize she was using me. Her parents looked at me differently after each revelation. Pity in her mother's eyes, condescension in her father's face. They thought I was just sitting there, oblivious, smiling like an idiot while their daughter systematically destroyed me, and I let them think it. I stayed calm, ate my pasta, complimented the sauce in English, asked for seconds, laughed at appropriate moments, even though I didn't understand what Sophia was translating. After dinner, her mother stood to clear the plates, started stacking them carefully. Sofia got up to help. I stood too, reached for my plate and Sofia's. Let me help, her mother protested in Italian, shaking her head. No, no, sei nostro ospite. You're our guest. I smiled at her, picked up the plates anyway, and then I spoke. Lascia che ti aiuti, signora. Insisto. Let me help you, ma'am. I insist. In perfect Italian, the room went completely silent. Sofia's fork froze halfway to her mouth, meatball still speared on it, her face going completely pale, white, bloodless. Her mother stopped mid-motion, holding 2 plates in her hands, staring at me with her mouth slightly open. Her father's entire body went rigid, eyes locked on me. I smiled warmly at her mother, took the plates from her hands gently, set them on the table. La cena era deliziosa, signora, assolutamente deliziosa. Grazie mille per averci invitato stasera. È stato un vero onore conoscervi entrambi. Dinner was delicious, ma'am. Absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for having us tonight. It's been a real honor to meet you both. Her mother's mouth opened. No sound came out. She looked at Sofia, then back at me, confused, hurt, betrayed. Her father stood slowly, chair scraping against the floor, arms crossed over his chest, face like stone. I turned to face all 3 of them, still holding plates, still calm, voice steady. Voglio chiarire alcune cose che Sofia vi ha detto stasera, alcune bugie che ha raccontato. I want to clear up some things Sofia told you tonight, some lies she told. I spoke, slowly, clearly, deliberately. In the Italian my grandmother had taught me from the time I was 5 years old, the Italian I'd spoken fluently my entire life, the Italian my mother had insisted I learn because it was part of our heritage, the Italian I'd never mentioned to Sofia because she'd never asked about my family, never asked about my background, never cared enough to know. Non ho abbandonato l'università, I said, looking directly at her parents. Mi sono laureato con lode 3 anni fa presso il Politecnico, ingegneria informatica. Ero il secondo della mia classe. I didn't drop out of college. I graduated with honors 3 years ago from the Polytechnic Institute, computer engineering. I was second in my class. Sofia's mother's hand went to her mouth, eyes wide. Lavoro come sviluppatore software senior per una società tecnologica. Guadagno $120,000 all'anno, più del doppio di quello che guadagna Sofia. I work as a senior software developer for a tech company. I make $120,000 a year, more than double what Sofia makes. Her father's jaw clenched. He looked at Sofia. She was frozen, trembling. I continued, set the plates down carefully, stood up straight. Non ho mai preso soldi in prestito da vostra figlia, nemmeno $1. In realtà, pago io per quasi tutto quando usciamo. Cene, biglietti del cinema, weekend, vacanze. Lei raramente tira fuori il portafoglio. I've never borrowed money from your daughter, not a single dollar. In fact, I pay for almost everything when we go out. Dinners, movie tickets, weekends away, vacations. She rarely reaches for her wallet. Her mother sat down slowly, looking at Sofia with an expression I couldn't quite read. Disappointment, shame. La mia famiglia non è povera, I said. Mia madre possiede 3 saloni di parrucchiera. Mio padre è un avvocato, anche se i miei genitori sono divorziati. Mia nonna, che mi ha insegnato l'italiano, era di Napoli. È morta 2 anni fa, ma le ho promesso che non avrei mai dimenticato la lingua. My family isn't poor. My mother owns 3 hair salons. My father is a lawyer, even though my parents are divorced. My grandmother, who taught me Italian, was from Naples. She died 2 years ago, but I promised her I would never forget the language. Sofia's hands were shaking now, wine glass rattling against the table, eyes filling with tears, not sad tears, panicked tears, caught tears. E non sono stupido, I said quietly, voice still calm but with an edge now. Ho parlato italiano fluentemente da quando avevo 8 anni. Capisco ogni singola parola che è stata detta qui stasera, ogni insulto, ogni bugia, ogni cosa crudele che Sofia ha detto credendo che io non capissi. And I'm not stupid. I've spoken Italian fluently since I was 8 years old. I understood every single word that was said here tonight, every insult, every lie, every cruel thing Sofia said believing I didn't understand. Her father spoke then, one word, cold as ice. Sofia, she started talking immediately, fast, desperate, in English, to me, not to her parents. I was joking. It was all jokes. They know I was joking. It's just how we talk in Italian. It's different. The tone is different. You're misunderstanding. Non stavo fraintendendo niente, I said calmly. I wasn't misunderstanding anything. I turned back to her parents. Her mother was crying now, silent tears. Her father looked disgusted, ashamed. Mi dispiace profondamente che abbiate dovuto scoprirlo in questo modo, I said to them. Meritavate di sapere che tipo di persona è diventata vostra figlia, ma dovevate sentirlo da lei, non da me. I'm deeply sorry you had to find out this way. You deserve to know what kind of person your daughter has become, but you needed to hear it from her, not from me. I walked to the door, grabbed my jacket from the hook in the entryway. Sofia jumped up, chair falling backward. Wait, please, I didn't mean any of it. They don't understand. They're taking it the wrong way. I stopped, turned to look at her one last time. Hai detto che ero temporaneo, che ero stupido, che stavi aspettando qualcuno migliore. Avevi ragione su una cosa. Ero temporaneo, ma non per le ragioni che pensavi. You said I was temporary, that I was stupid, that you were waiting for someone better. You were right about one thing. I was temporary, but not for the reasons you thought. Her parents were standing now, her mother still crying, her father's arm around her shoulders, both of them staring at Sophia like they didn't recognize her, like she was a stranger wearing their daughter's face. I opened the door. Cool evening air rushed in. Buonasera, I said to her parents. Mi dispiace ancora. Meritavate meglio di questo. Good evening. I'm still sorry. You deserved better than this. I walked out, closed the door softly behind me, heard Sophia start crying inside. Loud, ugly crying. Her mother's voice, sharp, angry. Her father's deeper voice, cold. I got in my car, started the engine, pulled out of the driveway. My phone started buzzing before I'd even reached the end of their street. Sophia calling. I watched it light up, let it ring. Voicemail. It rang again and again. 11 calls in the first 10 minutes. Then the texts started. 17 in rapid succession. Please come back. I can explain everything. They're screaming at me. You ruined my life. How could you do this to me? You set me up. This is all your fault. They're so mad at me. My dad won't even look at me. Please answer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Please. I blocked her number at the first red light, deleted her contact, deleted our text history, deleted every photo of her from my phone, drove home in complete silence. No music, no radio, just the sound of the engine and my own breathing. Got home, went inside, sat on my couch in the dark, and felt absolutely nothing. The next morning, Sophia showed up at my apartment, 8 a.m., pounding on the door. I watched through the peephole. She looked terrible. Yesterday's makeup smeared, hair a mess, same clothes. Please, I know you're in there. We need to talk. I didn't answer, just waited. She pounded for 10 minutes, then left. She tried calling from different numbers, her friends' phones. I blocked them all. She sent emails. I filtered them to spam. 2 weeks later, I ran into one of her co-workers at a coffee shop. She recognized me. You're Sophia's ex, right? Right. Did you really understand Italian the whole time? Word had spread, apparently. Yes, she smiled. Not malicious, just satisfied. Good, she needed that. She's been impossible to work with for months. Talks down to everyone, always complaining about how she deserves better. Better job, better apartment, better boyfriend. She paused. Better everything. Sounds about right. She told everyone you were a loser who didn't understand what she was saying at her parents' house, that you embarrassed her. I just nodded, took my coffee, walked out. Never saw Sophia again. But my phone lit up one more time. 6 months later, unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Hello? This is Maria, Sophia's mother. I sat up straighter. Mrs. Rossi, hello. I wanted to call, to apologize, for that night, for not seeing, for not knowing. Her English was heavily accented but clear. My husband and I, we raised her better. We don't know where we went wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. We did. We must have. She paused. She is not welcome in our home anymore. Not until she changes, really changes, becomes the person we thought we raised. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. You did us a favor. Showed us the truth. Another pause. Your grandmother would be proud of your Italian, of your character. My throat tightened. Thank you. Take care of yourself. You too. She hung up. I deleted that call too, and moved on.